Hey guys, it's Michael, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another tribute guitar project. And based on the color of the guitar, I think you probably might have an idea as to what I'm making now. Yep, it's time to unleash the fury and make an Yngwie Malmsteen tribute guitar. So if you don't know Yngwie Malmsteen, he's a Swedish neoclassical guitar virtuoso who rose to prominence in the 80s, and he's famous for playing Olympic white Fender Stratocasters with scalloped fingerboards. He has a signature model with Fender, which is a bit out of my price range, but luckily, Fender's lower cost subsidiary, Squier, has just started making the Affinity Strat in Olympic white with a maple fingerboard and everything. And when I saw this guitar at Guitar Center, let's just say the wheels got turning. I knew I had to make an Yngwie model now. Now, of course, that would mean scalloping the fingerboard, making it go from flat like this to wavy like this. Well, when I took a closer look at this guitar, I noticed the fingerboard was actually a bird's eye maple one. I'll try to get some close-up footage in a moment, but it's this beautiful pattern of bird's eye maple. And it appears to be a maple cap neck, meaning there's no skunk stripe on the back to install the truss rod, like on most Stratocaster or Telecaster necks. In this case, the fingerboard is an entirely separate piece of maple. In this case, bird's eye maple. So when I saw how beautiful the fingerboard was, there was no way I was going to carve it up. Not to mention, I haven't scalloped a fingerboard before in my life, and I was afraid I would go too deep and expose the truss rod. So instead, I implemented Plan B and ordered a pre-scalloped neck. Aha! It is that. It's just what I thought it was. Here we go. Oh, yes. There it is, the neck. Don't think it's actually a Fender neck. It's just got the decal on it just for the heck of it. But it is scalloped. See that there. It's actually scalloped a little lighter than Yngwie's signature models, but I think that's okay since this is going to be the first scalloped neck I'm going to plan on owning. So the lighter the better, I suppose. Now this neck isn't from one of Yngwie's signature models, as you might think. It has 22 frets versus the 21 Yngwie's has, and it doesn't have the bullet truss rod adjuster on the top here. The neck also only came with just the tuner holes drilled, meaning that the neck mounting holes back here and the tuner screw or guide holes on the back of the headstock would have to be drilled themselves. So I took the old neck off, By the way, something that's worth pointing out about the Affinity Strats is Squier is now using the vintage style tuners on them, instead of the sealed ones where you put the string through and then tune it up. What you do with these is you take the string and you run it a couple of tuners past the one you're working on, cut it, stick it down in the tuner like that, and then tune it up, which means there's no sharp ends for you to poke your fingers on. I like that. Squier has definitely been stepping it up lately. Now we can take the old neck off. Very simple, just unscrew these 4 bolts on the back and the neck comes right off. First bolt is out. 1 down, 3 more to go. Last bolt. I'm also being careful not to strip these bolts too, because I don't know if Fender bolts and Squier bolts are interchangeable. I believe they are, but I could be wrong. But anyway, there's the last one. Get the neck plate out of the way so we don't scratch the body up. And 3, 2, 1, hey presto. Look at that, the neck's now off. Just another look at the scallops. You can see they're all wavy, they're U-shaped. It means when you're fretting the strings, your fingers are only touching the strings, not the fingerboard underneath them. And that allows you to play with a lighter touch. Despite that, however, a Scalloped fingerboard doesn't make you play as fast as Yngwie can. Here's what Yngwie himself had to say about it in 2007.
It actually makes it more difficult to play fast.
So there you go. If the man himself says it makes it more difficult to play fast, then it must be true. However, because a Scalloped fingerboard allows you to control the strings better, that allows for more accurate playing, and the more accurate you are, the faster you can play. Ooh, yes. Okay, hold on. Almost there. Well, look at that. It's a little snug, but it fits pretty good. And now I can run a marker through these 4 holes to mark where the screws are going to go. And then using the old neck's holes already drilled, I'll find out how deep they have to be. Okay, the locations for the holes have been marked. I couldn't find a marker or a pen or something that could fit through the holes in the body of the guitar through to the neck. So instead I just inserted a screwdriver and just poked the back of the neck to chip away some of the lacquer. Now if we take off one of the stock tuners from the original neck, come on. Okay. Now if you look at the tuner, you'll notice these 2 little mounting poles there. There. And those poles correspond with these 2 little holes next to the tuner hole. Those holes are going to have to be measured and drilled out on the new neck as well. So let's see, first of all, if this tuner will fit. I have a feeling it will. It's 10 millimeters. And the tuner holes are 10 millimeters on this neck. And it fits just fine, yep. So now you can probably see now. There's a gap now between the tuner and the headstock. We have to drill the holes for those mounting pieces for them to fit in snugly and make sure they're all level. And also, if you're wondering, can't you just forget about the holes and just crank the tuners on tight? Well, I don't think so, because no matter how tight I seem to tighten this one, it's still going to move, no matter what. So, we got to do this correct. So that segment was filmed on Sunday. On Monday, I brought the neck to work where I had my co-worker mark and drill the holes for the neck and the tuners.
Te vas poniendo. Cálmate tú, cálmate yo.
And also transplant the string tree from the original neck to the new one. Finally got the string tree off. Gonna put it on the new neck. There. Right up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the new neck on the guitar. Fitted nicely. Now it's time to put some new strings on. And what better strings to use than Yngwie signature Fender strings. Size 8 to 46. Super light, much lighter than I'm used to. But again, I'm being fully authentic to Yngwie here, so here we go. Okay, I never knew this. They have the 1st and the 4th in the same packet, then the 2nd and the 5th in the same packet, and then the 3rd and the 6th in another packet. So similar to what DiMarzio does, just in separate paper envelopes instead of just wound together and stuffed inside the little plastic bag. So I mentioned with the vintage style tuners, you don't just insert them in here. You can't do that because they'll just slip right out. So what you do is you pull the string taut, like so, measure it 2 tuners beyond the one you're going to tie it to, and then you cut this end off. right here. This one you get rid of. Then you take and you just cut and you insert it straight down into the tuner like this, down and around. Then you wind it on. And that way you don't have any sharp ends sticking out that you can poke your finger on or cut your case up with. Very, very nice. And you gotta make sure you get it in, because otherwise it'll slip off to the side and not even go in at all. The first two strings are now on, and now, ta-da! All the strings are now on. Okay, but I did some adjustments with the truss rod and the bridge. I had to raise the bridge a little bit. Now, definitely getting there, except for this. What's happening there is we got some dead notes due to a high fret. The 11th fret is a little higher than the 10th and the 12th fret. I'll try to exemplify this with my little Fritz ruler string action indicator. Well, it's essentially a credit card. It's straight on all four sides, and that means it allows you to detect high frets by just placing it across a few and doing this. Just putting some light pressure on it. Really hope you can see it now that I've zoomed in. Which means the frets are going to be leveled and then recrowned to make sure there's no dead spots or high frets again. So a fret level is done by taking a fret leveler file and scraping it gently across all the frets until you're sure they're all completely even, by doing that same little technique with the straight edge I just showed you. After that, you have to take a crowning file and recrown them to make them rounded on top again. Okay, after testing all the frets, while the 11th is definitely the worst, the first fret tends to have a little bit of buzz on the open high E string. Right on the cusp, right? And finally, the 19th fret seems to buzz when you fret 18th fret note on the low E string. I got a fret leveling bar, and in this box, a crowning file to recrown the frets once they're done being filed and leveled. So to level the frets, first thing we have to do is take the strings off. One moment. Ta-da! Then we can get to work filing the troublesome frets down. Okay, it might be hard to see, but I prepped the frets with a little Sharpie, because to do a fret job right, what you do is you color the frets with Sharpie, then you take your file and you run it along until all the Sharpie is gone from all the frets. So let's get to it. This is probably going to take a while, so I'll be back in a moment. Okay, the frets have been filed now. All the Sharpie is gone, but we have to recrown the frets. So to explain that a little better, I made this little diagram. So frets are usually rounded on top like this. When you file them, of course, you take the very top of that dome off, making them square. And that's not good, because then they'll wear out faster. So you take a crowning file to knock off the corners and make them round on top again. So that was a workout, but at last, victory has been achieved. Each note is now ringing out freely on the 10th fret because the 11th fret now isn't in the way anymore. And while I still have plans for this guitar, there is one more thing I gotta do with it now, and that's install a ClipLock strap on it. Now I got the cheetah print because Yngwie uses regular style guitar straps in cheetah or leopard print, but back in the day he was seen using ClipLock straps all the time. So I figured I'd merge the past and the current with DiMarzio's cheetah print faux fur ClipLock strap. Let's get this guy on the guitar. So to attach a ClipLock strap, all you need is the strap, the guitar it's being attached to, and a Phillips head screwdriver. So you start by removing the original strap buttons. That's one. And save the felt washer and the screw. The strap button itself can go into your parts bin, for example. Once the original strap buttons are off, you can now begin to assemble the ClipLock strap. So take one of the buckling ends, these are the ends that go in the guitar, and try to insert the screw through this little mounting piece here. And if it doesn't fit, do not despair, because DiMarzio includes slightly bigger ones, as well as extra screws, in case you want to use brand new screws. Washer went down there. That's how it should look from the top. Making sure the writing is facing the back of the guitar when it's strapped on. And begin finger tightening it into the guitar. Then you can finish the job with the screwdriver. Get in the screw. There we go. You should be able to move freely like this when you're done. Then you just repeat the process with the other one, and then you can attach the main strap to those buckles. Being careful not to pinch your fingers. I've been there and done that, believe me. Not fun. Now that the guitar is clipped in place, you're ready to start rocking. And then as a final touch, I attached a pick holder to the ClipLock with an old wrist strap I had laying around. And in here I have a few of Yngwie's signature Dunlop Delrin picks. Because really, what better picks to use with this guitar than Yngwie's own, just like the strings. So now let's check out the guitar with rhythms and leads and single licks. So in conclusion, I think I built a pretty decent guitar now. It could be better, but it's definitely playable, and it definitely screams and it sings just like Yngwie Strats. So I hope you guys liked the video, and I hope you at least found it entertaining. And for any Yngwie fans watching, I hope I inspired you to make your own. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your notifications, because I do have a lot more planned for this guitar. Make sure you're subscribed and you have your notifications on so you can see that. And now I'm going to leave you with my favorite Yngwie song, Rising Force. At least the parts of it that I know anyway, because most of Yngwie's songs are pretty challenging, okay? Here goes. See you later.